America entered Vietnam believing victory was guaranteed. 5 years later, the nation was questioning everything. The Vietnam War was not just a distant conflict in Southeast Asia. It was a turning point that reshaped American power, trust, and identity. What began with confidence slowly turned into doubt. In the early 1960s, America believed it could stop communism anywhere. Vietnam seemed like another mission the United States could easily control. That assumption would prove costly. American leaders underestimated both the land and the people. Vietnam was not a battlefield that followed traditional rules. It was unfamiliar, unpredictable, and deadly. Advanced weapons and air power gave Washington confidence. Technology was expected to deliver quick victory. But war is not won by machines alone. The jungle itself became a weapon against American soldiers. Visibility was limited, fear was constant, and danger was everywhere. Every step forward felt uncertain. One major mistake was entering the war without clear goals. Was America defending South Vietnam or trying to defeat communism entirely? Even leaders struggled to define success. This war had no clear front lines. Enemy fighters blended into the environment. The battlefield could change in seconds. American troops rarely saw the enemy before being attacked. This uncertainty slowly destroyed morale. Fear became part of daily survival. Search and destroy missions replaced long-term strategy. Entire villages became battlegrounds. The human cost began to rise. Civilian casualties pushed local populations away from the United States. Instead of gaining support, resistance grew stronger. Hearts and minds were lost. Military success was measured through body counts. Rising numbers were reported as progress, but numbers did not reflect reality. Meanwhile, the enemy adapted quickly. Guerrilla warfare outsmarted traditional military tactics. Small movements caused massive damage. In 1968, the Tet Offensive shocked the world. It showed that the enemy was far from defeated. Public confidence collapsed overnight. Americans had been told the war was almost won. Television images told a different story. The gap between truth and leadership became clear. Vietnam became America's first televised war. Graphic footage entered living rooms across the nation. The war was no longer distant. Public support for the war rapidly declined. Trust in government statements faded. Doubt replaced patriotism. College campuses turned into protest zones. Young Americans questioned authority. The nation became deeply divided. Leaders ignored public opinion for too long. The divide between citizens and government widened. Social tension exploded. When soldiers returned home, the country felt unfamiliar. Many were met with silence instead of honor. The war followed them back. Veterans carried invisible wounds. Trauma and memories haunted everyday life. For many, the war never ended. Political leaders feared admitting failure. Ending the war felt more dangerous than continuing it. So the conflict dragged on. Each passing year brought more casualties. Lives were lost without real progress. The cost kept rising. Eventually, America chose withdrawal. The decision came too late to undo the damage. The scars remained. In 1975, Saigon fell. The war officially ended for America, but its impact would last generations. The United States lost more than a war. It lost confidence in its global dominance. Power suddenly had limits. Trust in government institutions collapsed. Americans became more skeptical of authority. Doubt became permanent. The military re-examined how wars were fought. Vietnam became a lesson written in blood. Strategy was forever changed. Future wars would demand clear objectives. No more open-ended conflicts. Vietnam set new rules. American foreign policy shifted toward caution. Intervention was no longer automatic. The world had changed. The war reshaped American culture. Music, films, and protests reflected national pain. Vietnam became a symbol. Hollywood retold the story through cinema. Movies turned trauma into memory. The nation tried to understand itself. For veterans, closure was difficult. History honored them slowly. Their sacrifices were finally recognized. Vietnam taught America humility. Military power could not solve everything. Some lessons came too late. The war became a warning for future generations. Every decision carries consequences. History remembers mistakes. The Vietnam War changed America forever. Its lessons still shape decisions today. History never truly lets go.